All right, let's call this closed session to order for January the 21st at 5 o'clock, actually 5:01. Madam Clerk, you want to call roll call?
Councilmember Beaver.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Woolsey.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
Here.
Mayor Thorpe.
Here.
All present.
Do we have any public comment?
No public comments.
Okay, so now we will move to the executive conference room for closed session. Time is,
Mayor, I have a comment.
go ahead.
I'll have to recuse myself on closed session item A, and that'll be current with the 500-foot rule pursuant to Title II, Section 18702.2 of the California Code of Regulations. Real property within 500 feet of a proposed project is presumed to be materially affected by the government decision relating to that project. My property is within 500 feet of the issue we're going to talk to, item A tonight, so I will be recusing myself. I want to make sure that is on record. I have an attorney opinion. I also have asked for an opinion from FPPC.
All right,
Someone was paying attention during ethics training.
apparently. He has his notes and everything. So now we will go to the conference room at 5:02.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's call this meeting to order, the regular open session meeting for January 21st, 6:01 in the evening. Madam Clerk, are we doing, no, it's later, I'm sorry. We don't have an invocation tonight, so we'll just jump right into the pledge. Captain, would you mind doing our pledge for us, please?
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Captain. All right, Madam Clerk, now it's your turn. Can you call roll, please?
Thank you. Councilmember Beaver.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Woolsey.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
Here.
Mayor Thorpe.
Here.
All present.
Okay, so we'll get right into our discussion item, item number 1.
Thank you, Mayor. That's going to be my item. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. Item 1 tonight is the citizen service appointments to the various commissions and committees here in the City of Yucaipa. Membership on Yucaipa's commissions and committees runs consistent with the general municipal election, and the term shall be for 2 years. The City Clerk's Office conducted a recruitment for the vacant positions by notifying current commission committee members of their term expiration dates, publishing ads in the local newspaper, posting notices at City Hall and at the Yucaipa Branch Library, and by reaching out to the community through the city's website and social media outlets. While we received a significant amount of interest in serving on the various commissions and committees, staff will be recommending that we postpone the appointment of the following committees to allow for an additional recruitment. It's going to be the EDAC, the Mobile Home Park, and the Measure S Citizen Oversight Committees. In addition, the City Clerk's Office did not receive any applications for the Vector Control Committee. Staff will need direction from the City Council as to how to proceed with this committee. Okay, so we're gonna go one by one, but we do have several public comments. So, Mayor, if you'd like to listen to public comment first, I think it'd be appropriate to do that now.
That'd be fine.
Okay, so we're going to start with Ross McGinnis, followed by Holly Warner.
I live up on the North Bench. I've been here in Yucaipa about 25 years now. I did 30-something years on BNSF Railway. We ran a capacity expansion project with a typical annual budget of about $100 million. We worked with city, county, state, federal entities in expanding transportation hub facilities for the railroad, light rail, Amtrak, basically working with the state and other entities to improve the community. And when you work on those projects, you find out what you get the most bang for your buck with. Grade separations, very beneficial for communities and very beneficial for the railroad. Takes away that litigation that hangs over the head of the railroads at your crossings, but yet expands velocity for both traveling rail public and the trains. There's certain things that you find are beneficial to the entire community, and it's a win-win for everybody. So I've been retired for several years, but yet I'm still younger than most people are when they retire. So I still feel I have a few good years left in me. I do designate a lot of time with my church. I'm on the council at our local church. I spend some time with that. But I still have a lot of time on my hands, and I think that volunteering for my community would be a benefit to both them and myself. It's good to keep busy, keeps you going, keeps you young, keeps you active. So that's all I had to say. I hope you'll consider me. I applied for several committees. I don't even remember how many, it's like 4 of them. But I hope you'll take my name into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ross McGinnis.
Holly Warner, followed by Heather Leon.
Here we are again. Thanks for having us tonight. And you already know my background is in environmental impact report kind of work, but I actually didn't want to speak about myself tonight. I wanted you to think about, particularly when it comes, well, actually to all the committees, but also especially the planning committee, that you decide on a diverse group of people with diverse opinions as well as professional and personal backgrounds. And I think it's really important that I realize that there's more than 5 seats, but I hope that every district has a voice on the final planning commission. I think that that will be really important for getting that trust back in the community that we've been talking about. So I hope that you can pick a diverse panel of different experiences, voices, and that can really advise you moving forward. So I encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Heather Leon, followed by Carla McCorkle.
Good evening. My name is Heather Leon. I put my name in for the Public Finance Board. I am already been very active with the school district in a wide variety of areas with Girl Scouts and National Little League a long time ago and all of those kinds of things when my kids were busy. And I went looking for a way to get more involved with the city. I teach government and politics and economics at the high school, and I have been bringing my students to several board meetings to, again, emphasize to my students how important it is for them to get involved. And when one of them asked what I was doing, I thought, oh, maybe I should probably throw my hat in there as well. So I am walking the talk, and I picked the Public Finance Board. To be honest with you, most of my experience with a wide variety of the areas that I've supported has been with auditing and bookkeeping and treasury. And so understanding not only what goes into keeping those books running, but also understanding all of the requirements that we're have to meet. That's actually something that works for me. I also agree with the last speaker about diversity, and so I don't know how many of your candidates come from a variety of areas, but I'm excited. I know Mr. Venable in meeting you in your district, and I'm excited to have that leadership, and so I'm also from that district as well, and hope that you do have a chance to take a look at a wide variety of people. So thank you very much.
Carla McCorkle, followed by Kelly Tully.
Good evening to the City Council and our new Mayor, John Thorpe. Congratulations. My name is Carla McCorkle, and I'm a regular user of the trails here in Yucaipa. I am an active participant with the Take a Hike program, which is run by the Trails and Open Space Committee. I have lived here for 4 years and truly appreciate the natural environment that is unique to Yucaipa. These hikes not only help you physically, but mentally, and it's so refreshing to get out in nature and meet new people. I have participated and helped with these monthly hikes and have volunteered on many projects to enhance the beauty of the community. I am an active retiree and have the time to commit to the committee and to the community. I hope that you will consider my application to serve on the Trails and Open Space Committee. Thank you.
Kelly Tilley, followed by Carrie Clark.
Good evening. I'd like to say how much I enjoy hiking the trails our city offers. I started hiking back in 2012 and I haven't stopped since. And the gathering of the community for the monthly Take a Hike is such a wonderful program. It's so nice to get together with the community and to share our love for a sport that we all like to do. And to be with others who share my passion for the trails and open space and being part of a like-minded committee would be a great experience and opportunity for me. Thank you for your consideration.
Carrie Clark, followed by David Higginson.
Good evening, council and audience. I'm Kerry Clark. I've been a resident for a little over 2 years. Growing up in Southern California at my age, it's given me a glimpse of urban sprawl becoming urban decay. Moving to Yucaipa, seeing the difference in the disposition of people and the way they treat each other is the reason I'm here. Possibly selfishly trying to preserve this for my family, which has also moved to Yucaipa or is moving here. I had a career in public utility, giving me insight into drivers and functions of municipalities. The utopian RAD experiment would be my guide to planning and development. Adequate space, infrastructure, services. My vision for Yucaipa would be a family-oriented, culturally rich, small business friendly, with low density a priority while protecting the existing populace. I believe that Yucaipa can be a model for convivial living. Thank you for this opportunity tonight.
David Higginson, followed by Donna Snodgrass.
Good evening. I thank Mayor Thorpe and the City Council for an opportunity just to kind of re-emphasize my commitment to the Planning Commission. I've been serving for the last 2 years as a practicing architect for 40 years. I think I had a really deep desire to do public service, and then the opportunity as a citizen of Yucaipa came up. I applied for it. So I just want to just kind of emphasize that, you know, after 2 years, you kind of get used to the commission, and then you get reappointed. Hopefully I get reappointed, but just that I love this community. I just want to bring my diverse experience in presenting to planning commissions for the last 40 years, probably hundreds of projects, but to be on this side of the die is just, you know, I understand that experience. So anyway, I just appreciate the consideration. I want to continue to serve the citizens of Yucaipa. Thank you.
Donna Snodgrass, followed by Dr. Hanson Wong.
Good evening, Council. Most of you already know me, and you know what I'm capable of. And when I accept a responsibility, I take it very seriously. The work studying that I've done in the past 2 years as a planning commissioner has been proof of this. I'm not just a bystander. I take the extra mile to learn and apply the knowledge that I gain. Housing laws have been devastating to some cities. Every city that has fought them has lost. The latest being Huntington Beach. Even the Coastal Commission has been weakened. I know we can't just say no to development, but we can find ways to satisfy state law and still restrict development. The laws all favor the property owners. Cities can work within those laws and still provide the value to the property owners that they deserve. January 1st brought us at least 10 new housing laws, and I'm still going through those. They're monsters. Yucaipa has a triple award-winning general plan. All 3 awards were issued because our housing element had new ideas that showed what can happen when you think outside the box. I am proud to have been a part of that successful planning. Our updated housing element was accepted and registered with the state in 2021. We were told how many houses we are required to build and the income categories to build them in. This is only the first step. Cities must then allow the development, and Yucaipa must build about 3,000 new houses. I believe there are more ideas to be explored, and I would greatly appreciate the chance to be a part of this for the next 2 years. Thank you.
Dr. Hanson Wong.
Good evening, City Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm applying for both the Planning Commission and Healthy Yucaipa. You already know what I've done with Healthy Yucaipa, so I'm going to speak a little bit on the Planning Commission. When I evaluate something like our building in this city, I consider both the business aspects as well as the residential. I have spoken to the council members, sometimes more than the mayor wants, but I have done that. In addition, I've spoken to some owners, some developers, as well as city staff, and the city staff has been very good about being responsive to educate me in the ways that I should. So I wish to be on that committee to help advise the city council on what I would think is in the best interest of the city, looking at both the statutes, the state laws, as well as the needs of the city. So I would appreciate any chance that the city council will allow me to have in that area. Thank you very much.
I have no more cards. Okay, so we're going to go right into the process unless the city council would like to discuss or unless you have any questions, but otherwise we can jump right into the nominations.
Any members of council have any questions? All right, you can proceed.
Okay, so we have a spreadsheet for you today that's going to be displayed on the cameras here on the big screens. We're going to start with the Healthy Yucaipa Committee. This committee is 9 members. We have 2 non-voting council members, and we have 7 members appointed by the city council. So each council member is going to get to nominate someone, and that person will be appointed to the commissioner committee by a majority vote of the council. So we're going to go down in order, in voting order. So I'm going to call your name. Councilmember Beaver, we're going to start with you. So I'll call your name if you'd like to give me the name of your nominee, and then the mayor is going to call for a vote, and then we'll just continue until the committee is full. Okay, Councilmember Beaver. So for Healthy Yucaipa Committee, who is your?
Healthy Yucaipa Committee, Dr. Hanson Wong.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, we're going to move on to Councilmember Miller.
I would like to nominate Robin Jensen.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right.
And just a quick note for the council, we have the list of applicants over off to the right-hand side, and so as you're nominating them, I'm moving them over into the table here, so you can see who's still remaining of the applicants. Okay, so we'll move on to Councilmember Woolsey.
Ross McGinnis.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
We had a couple applicants that were late, and I think Meredith was one of them.
Yes, sir, we did. So we received an application from Meredith Sherwin for the Healthy Yucaipa Committee. The application was received on December 17th. It was after the deadline, so staff did not include it in the list of recommendations, but it's certainly up to the city council if you wish to.
Well, she was, every race that I've been to, she was with me, right, handing out things. She's so involved with the whole thing and stuff, and I kind of talked her into it at the last minute and stuff, and it was a little bit too late. So I'm gonna nominate her.
When was the deadline?
The 5th, December 5th.
She's been on the committee for, 12 years, I think she's been on. She's a nurse. I think she'd be a great pick. She's loved by everybody, I think.
Are you saying that she applied, but it came in late?
That's correct. So we gave a deadline of December 5th for all applications to be received. We did receive a total of 4 applications after the deadline. We did notify those applicants that they were past the deadline and they would not be considered in staff's recommendations, but certainly we do have 4. We received 2 for the Planning Commission, 1 for Healthy Yucaipa being Meredith Sherwin, and then we received 1 for Trails and Open Space.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the Mayor Pro Tem's nomination.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Was that 2 noes?
I think it was only one.
I think it was just one, wasn't
It
it?
was just one. Councilmember Woolsey. Okay, we're going to move on. Mayor Thorpe.
Heather O'Bear?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Okay, and then we have 2 at large.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Matthew Underwood.
I'll second him as well.
I didn't understand the first name. What was it?
Matthew Underwood, Dr. Matthew Underwood.
Okay. Got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a nomination for the second person?
Are you going down the line, or am I?
I think it's just at
This
large.
is an at-large position.
I say Rebecca Hayes.
Haynes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Perfect. And so we have 2 non-voting council members.
Mr. Mayor,
2
you're looking very
non-voting.
healthy, sir.
I'll go on
Okay.
Anybody else want to?
if they'll have me.
I guess I just got nominated, so I'll do it.
That's what you
Okay.
guys did to me when I first got here.
Okay, if we could just get a vote on that
Want to
one.
vote on that?
Yeah, just an
Okay.
all in favor would be fine.
So
We have Mayor Pro Tem Venable and Mayor Thorpe serving as the 2 non-voting council members for the Healthy Yucaipa Committee.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Okay, congratulations to everybody on the Healthy Yucaipa Committee. Okay, we're going to move on to the Public Finance Authority Board. This is 9 members. We have 2 non-voting council members, and we have 7 members appointed by the City Council. We'll start with Councilmember Beaver.
This is what?
The Public Finance Authority. I would like to nominate Destine Navat.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, Councilmember Miller.
Like to nominate Heather Leon.
A second?
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, Councilmember Woolsey.
Joshua Sloan.
Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm sorry, give me 1 second, please. I have to just check something really quick.
Yeah, I thought we were up.
I thought there was only 2 of these.
Okay. I apologize. This committee is 2 at-large members of the community and 3 council members.
Correct. 3 council members.
So for one of the at-large positions, I would like to nominate Destine Navat.
So we're doing this again?
Yes, I
Right,
apologize.
so we have a first
Sorry.
for Dustin. Do we have a second?
Dustine?
Destine
Dustin,
Navat.
sorry.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I didn't vote. Aye.
I'll nominate Roe Randolph.
So we're doing alternates. What, are the other 2 on there?
There's only 2
No,
at-large.
this was my mistake. I apologize. So instead of each council member nominating one, we only have 2 at-large positions.
Okay,
So
all
we
right.
have one filled already by Destine Navat. And so we have the second at-large position, Mayor Pro Tem Venable nominated Roe Randolph.
Okay, so do we have a second on this nomination of,
Point of order. If our nomination was knocked off after we recalibrated here, how do we renominate them?
Well, they are at-large, so it's whoever nominates. So the Mayor Pro Tem Venable nominated Roe Randolph, so it would be a matter of voting on that one. If we have a majority, then it would be Destine and Roe.
If it doesn't meet the majority, then there's a second nomination.
Got it.
all right, so do we have a second for this motion that's on the
Roe
floor?
Randolph.
Okay,
So do we have another nomination for the at-large?
I'd like to nominate Heather Leon.
do we have a second?
I'll second his nomination.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
Okay, so we have our 2 at-large members, and we need 3 non-voting council members. They are voting, I'm sorry, 3 voting council members.
so last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was Councilmember Duncan and myself, correct? I don't think we had 3 on there, did we? Was it just 2?
Looks like Councilmember Beaver was on there as well.
Okay, all right.
Mayor, I'd be interested in the finance portion.
Okay, for the first one, we have Councilmember Bob Miller. Do I have a second?
I'll second Bob Miller.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Do we have another nomination?
I'll nominate Judy Woolsey.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And one more.
I'm sorry, ma'am, Madam City Clerk, I don't see in the rules, when is this as needed meeting, or when does this meet?
Yeah, Councilman, so this is related to the EIFD that was formed last year.
Right.
I believe this committee meets by law once, no less than once a year. So until the EIFD, until and unless the EIFD becomes active and starts working on projects, we would anticipate that this committee wouldn't need to meet more than once a year at this point.
We met a few times last year because we were
Yeah.
coming up with the,
I remember the EFD discussions.
rules.
Yeah, and the rules, yeah.
are you interested?
Oh, sure.
Because if not, I mean, I can do it, I don't mind doing it again, but
Well, I don't want to twist your arm up here, Mayor Thor. I don't mind. I remember the EIFD discussion had in the last couple of years. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being a voice on that committee.
I'll nominate Justin Beaver.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second it.
all right, those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, congratulations. We will move on to the Trails and Open Space Committee. We have 9 members. We have 4 positions at large.
All right.
We'll start with Councilmember Bieber.
I'd like to enthusiastically nominate Candy Kanzler.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right.
Councilmember Miller.
I'd like to nominate Miguel Plasencia.
Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Councilmember Woolsey.
I nominate Dan Whitehead.
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
I nominate Kelly LaRocco.
We have a second?
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Mayor Thorpe.
Douglas, is it Leach?
Yep. I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay, and then we have our 4 at-large positions.
I'd like to nominate Lenny LaRocco.
Do I have a second?
They've both been in this meeting for a long time. They've done a lot of this.
I'll second. Do we have a general, I'm sorry. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay.
I'll nominate Kathy Udley.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll nominate Christine Muller.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
I'll nominate Sean Burdine.
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I didn't vote, Mayor.
You abstaining?
No, point of order again. If I have another one, how are we doing this again?
If you have, I'm sorry.
Motion passed, then
It's
we're done,
majority.
right?
Majority
It was a
pass.
majority.
Okay, all right.
That's it?
Okay, congratulations to all those on the Trails and Open Space Committee. Okay, we have the Vector Control Committee. This is one where staff is asking that the city council provide some direction. We received no applications. There was no interest in this committee. So the city council can decide to run the recruitment again. We could bring it back at a later time. The city council may also want to consider changing this to an ad hoc committee. My understanding is this committee meets as necessary when issues arise. So that would be an option as well, but it's up for discussion.
I think that the reason why that we're having a hard time is because of the time. Last year, it was 4 o'clock, and most of everybody that we deal with works until 3:30 in Riverside, not in Yucaipa. So if we moved it to a 5 or a 6 o'clock meeting or something to that, I think that we would have more participants, because I know Kelly was on the board and stuff, and I know where she works, and it's pretty demanding, and she's not home until about 4:30 every day. So
I was on the committee as the non-voting council member. I attended several meetings. By and large, as a result of some of the state propositions regulating free-range chickens, mostly for Yucaipa, it's free-range chickens that truly had the most impact on our vector. We've seen a substantial decrease in our Yucaipa Air Force, stronghold. The chicken ranches don't compile the waste that they did to just sit and attract larvae, and it was explained to me by the members of the poultry industry that our code enforcement officers would go out there and inspect, and dry manure doesn't attract eggs. They can't incubate there, and so we've seen a substantial reduction. And so most of these meetings were pretty quick, pretty abbreviated. It was a discussion of, here's our code enforcement officers' reports, no violations. In fact, I can't think of one violation relative to vector control. There were some recommendations that code enforcement would make, and maybe county vector would weigh in with certain different trends that they were seeing outside of just flies. But because of that, and owing to our Mayor Pro Tem's point that it was difficult to get people engaged because of the time, I think maybe an ad hoc committee might be appropriate, given that we certainly have the possibility of having a fly issue and other vector, but I think we've done a pretty good job in our city. It's not as bad as it was when I was a kid, for sure.
Mayor, if I may,
Good.
ad hoc committee is certainly one route you could take. Another pathway that I've seen successful in other communities, when you have an issue like this that doesn't necessarily need continuous meetings of a committee, you can assign that subject matter to an existing commission that has similar expertise, for example, the Planning Commission, so that if you ever did have a vector control issue that you wanted to have discussed, you already have a group of people who are already familiar with the city rules and procedures. They've already gone through ethics training. Planning Commission generally makes the most sense as having overlap on the subject matter jurisdiction. That's just an idea. You could direct staff to bring back the appropriate documentation to reassign these duties to the Planning Commission or another committee.
Council have a thought?
I'm not opposed to the idea. Obviously, the concern is that it's not a problem until it's a problem, and we see discussions pop up every now and then that, hey, the flies are worse this year, or there's something. What is it that's causing this problem? Because when it's a problem, it's a problem. So certainly, I don't want to burden anybody. And obviously, these poultry farmers and these ranchers would come in, sometimes covered in their work. They're working. We're pulling them away to come to City Hall and discuss a matter that's truly not worthy of a discussion because it's not a problem until it's a problem. But I think either an ad hoc or having the Planning Commission have oversight over this issue, because it is certainly something that can affect our quality of life should an issue arise. And I think our city attorney makes a good point that there's already a seated board that has been through training and understands the rules and procedures of our city. They just have to be educated on vector at that point. And staff would prepare some additional training for our Planning Commission if we were to make that motion and carry through. I'll motion that we give our Planning Commission a little bit more. They work hard for it, and I think we trust their judgment on items that we review all the time. I think it's something we can ask them to look at when there's a problem. Ultimately, it's going to default to the council anyways if it's any major decision is made that changes the way businesses are operated within our city.
That's your motion. Do we have a?
I'll second that.
Can I, if we can just see if we can change the dates first and see if we can get that committee going back again and stuff, I think that I believe that you're gonna have enough applicants in there to get that passed. It's just the time, not the dates, but the time was a big thing.
Do you think that there's enough subject to discuss to justify a full committee? Because that was my thought, is we would go to these committees and we would be there for 20 minutes and it would literally be a discussion. The longest meetings are when County Vector had something to report relative to a trend, an uptick in the oriental fruit fly, or something that was needed to be brought to the attention of the city. But I submit that there's avenues for that communication to be had anyways outside of a seated vector control board.
Because I sat on it last time and they brought good cases in, making sure that they're, all the chicken mess is picked up. Sorry, I didn't
Well, we'd
say
still
that.
do the inspections, correct? Without the vector control board.
We are doing this inspections and everything like that and stuff, but we've had a couple issues, in the past and stuff, but, that's my opinion.
So we actually had a motion and a second, but then you gave a further discussion, so.
I'd like to push it to see if we can move the time to a different, to see if we can have this committee. But
I'm not opposed to the committee.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's even necessary to have a standing committee.
So would an alternate motion be then to try and see if we can get the times adjusted and open it back up for further applicants? And if that doesn't come to fulfillment, then
I'm good with that.
move to the
So I'll
burning it
withdraw my
onto-
motion, and I'll second Council, or Mayor Pro Tem Venable's motion to have staff come back with amended committee times.
We can bring both options back at a future council meeting and reopen it for applications in the meantime. That way, perfect. You'd have an agendized item where you'd have all the options in front of you and you can decide what to do then.
And forgive me real quick, I saw somebody from Crafton Hills College here. Is Miss Allen in the audience too?
Nope.
No? Well, I was gonna see if we can advertise if there's, I'm not certain. I know the high school used to have an agriculture and turf management class that might be beneficial from having some involvement there, but
I can reach out to him.
they don't have any more. I know the school district doesn't have any ag, but maybe Crafton might have something that segues some type of agriculture, and if not, we can expand our reach. Somebody who knows about vector and you know, I don't want to say as far as Cal Poly Pomona, but there's certainly somebody local we might be able to reach out to and see if maybe a local rancher wants to get more involved.
All right, so you made a motion. Did you second that?
I did.
All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right.
And just to confirm, the motion was to bring the item back at the next city council meeting with alternate times.
Yes.
And were we doing both? We're bringing back both options or just the one option?
I don't know if it's the next meeting. I think we should give staff opportunity to recruit as well and come back and let us know if the recruitment was fruitful. And then
Okay.
if it's not, then we'll then have the secondary option of having planning commission assume control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was clear. I think we did. Sorry for the ones taking notes.
Okay, thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Park and Recreation Commission. So this is going to be a little bit different. The Park and Recreation Commission consists of 6 members, 5 of which shall be appointed by each city council member. So for this one, you each get to make your appointment and we don't have to do a majority vote. The 6 members shall be a high school or college student attending school in the city of Yucaipa, appointed by the city council as a body upon recommendation of the remainder of the Park and Recreation Commission. So you each get to make your appointment tonight, and then once the commission meets, then they can discuss the student, which will then be brought back to the city council. So we'll go down the list, and if you could just let me know who your appointment is. Councilmember Beaver.
Our former councilwoman, Denise Allen.
Do we have a second?
I second that. Oops, I'm
I don't think do we need a second?
I'll second that. No, we don't need a second.
No need to second,
all right.
no vote on this, just your appointments.
Oh, okay.
Councilmember Miller.
Heather Placencia.
Thank you. Councilmember Woolsey.
Joel Keller.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
Tara Van Grau.
And Mayor Thorpe.
Spencer Gonzalez.
Thank you. Congratulations to those appointed to the Park and Recreation Commission. Okay, and lastly, we're going to move on to the Planning Commission. So the Planning Commission consists of 7 members. The City Council will each get to nominate. So we're going back to the original way. You each get to nominate, and then it's voted by a majority of the council. So we'll go down the list. You'll give me your name, and then the mayor will call for a vote. We'll start with Councilmember Beaver.
Miss Stacy Chester.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Councilmember Miller.
Brandon Mill.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Councilmember Woolsey.
Dennis Miller.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
In favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
Did you vote?
Aye.
Okay. Next.
Lyle Vick.
Do I have a second?
It doesn't look like we have a second. Do we have another option, sir? Your next pick.
Tony Hicks.
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, Mayor Thorpe?
Robert O'Brien?
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Okay, and then we have 2 at-large positions.
I'd like to nominate Mike McCustian.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 And then I would like to nominate Timothy Mullins. Do I have a second?
Who was the name, sir?
Timothy Mullins.
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, congratulations to everybody appointed to the Planning Commission. All right, that concludes this item. We're going to go ahead and move on to item number 2. Item 2 for your consideration tonight is the 2025 membership for council ad hoc and standing committees. Annually, the City Council reviews memberships on the various City Council ad hoc and standing committees and makes adjustments as necessary. Staff recommends that the City Council review the current membership list and advise the City Clerk of any changes. The current committee roster was included as part of your packet. I will go down the list and council can let me know of the changes. So as we go down the list, we're going to start with the ad hoc committees. If you can let me know if this ad hoc committee is a committee that you wish to remain on the roster, and if so, if you can let me know the 2 members. So first we have the Casablanca Advisory Ad Hoc Committee.
I have a question on these.
Yes.
Exactly what is the reason or the purpose of a council member to be on these? What do they actually do
Well, the purpose varies depending on the committee.
on the committee?
Yeah, but there's a lot of city business that the council chooses to have a committee of the council, a subset of the council, less than a majority of the council, look at and have eyes on and work through before bringing it to the full council. So the first one on the list is Casablanca Advisory. I'm not sure if everyone on the council is familiar with the Casablanca property on Oak Glen Road. It is a building of historical significance in the city of Yucaipa, and the council at one time had decided that they would like to explore whether there are options for preserving that property and determining what use might be appropriate. And so, as opposed to having to bring that to the entire city council every time, you have a committee of 2 council members that will work with the property owner and whatnot and work more in depth on the issue. Eventually, when a proposed solution is found, then that item would come to the full city council. That's just one example.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And for the record, Mayor, we have no public comments on this item.
All right, thank you. I believe last time I was on this with Councilmember, was it you? Okay. I'd be interested in doing it again.
I would too.
Are we voting on this, or is it just,
Yes, please. Just an all in favor would be great.
okay.
I'll nominate John.
So we have Mayor Thorpe and Mayor Pro
Second.
Tem Venable.
Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have our Community Activity Grant Application Review Ad Hoc Committee.
So did we vote for both? Hold on a second. We did 2 for Casablanca, right?
That's correct. So
Okay.
we had,
I thought I only heard him say 1, so that's why I was asking.
yes, I have yourself and Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
Okay. I'll catch up to the rest of the class here.
Okay, so Community Activity Grant Application Review Ad Hoc Committee. Previously, we had Councilmember Beaver and Mayor Thorpe.
Anybody on the council have an interest?
I'll nominate Beaver again.
Yeah.
And if nobody else wants to do it, I'm happy to, so.
It's a busy one. This one does, we talk about this quite a bit because we give money away to people in our community. So it is something that is important to be had. So I will review applications again and make recommendations from my ad hoc committee.
So the motion would be Councilman Beaver and myself.
No, second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, next we have our Five Winds Ranch Improvement Advisory Ad Hoc Committee.
I'd like to be on that.
You want to be on that? Okay, I'll nominate our Mayor Pro Tem. Can he nominate himself? You get thrown out of the Hall of Fame for nominating yourself for stuff, man.
We need one more.
Yes, please.
So I'll nominate Judy Woolsey.
Seconded.
Which, I decline. No, I decline, seriously. No.
Okay.
I'll nominate Joseph Beaver on this one for me. too.
I'll second.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, next we have our Library Ad Hoc Committee.
Who all was on that last time?
This would be Matt Garner and yourself.
Sorry, that. You want to be on the library?
No, thank you.
Oh, I thought you said that you're retired and you have time to do this stuff.
What's that?
I thought you said you're retired and you have time to be on these committees.
I do, but.
Oh, okay. I was just making
I
sure.
do have one in mind. It's just that's not one that I wish to serve on.
All right. I'll be interested in doing it again if we can get a second on somebody else.
I'll second.
You want to be the second person?
I'll be glad
Or you're
to.
making the second?
All right.
I'll be glad to serve on it.
Okay.
I'll second both of them, the
Yes.
mayor and Councilman Miller.
All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, next we have the Public Arts Ad Hoc Committee.
Previously, that was Councilman Beaver and
Yourself.
myself, right? All right. Somebody else other than John and Justin need to be on the committee. So, I nominate Bob. Councilman Miller.
I'll second that.
Do we have, those in favor for Bob?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We need one more person, though.
Judy?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Okay, next we have our Public Safety Ad Hoc Committee.
I'd like to be on it again.
No, this one I'm interested in.
Well, we can both be interested in it there, Bob. I'd like myself and Councilman Miller to be on this Public Safety Advisory Committee.
I'll second that.
I'm sorry.
Good. All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, next we have our Solid Waste Ad Hoc Committee.
I nominate Mayor Pro Tem Venable.
Seconded.
Those in favor?
It's actually pretty cool because they call themselves the Solid Waste Advisory Task Force, so you could be on the SWAT team. Not everybody could do that, man. Very
Right, so for
confusing
the-
in your calendar, by the way, when you have actual SWAT training to go to.
So the first,
Please.
so the first member, we have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we need one more?
We need three?
Two. So I have yourself, Mayor Pro Tem, and then who was the second?
Beaver was,
That was the
on
last
it
time.
last time.
Sure. I'll be on the SWAT team again.
And so this is a little bit different than SWAT. SWAT, Councilmember Miller actually serves on SWAT. This is specifically,
It's not the SWAT team.
no, I'm sorry, but this is when we discuss our solid waste rates. You were on the ad hoc committee last year, yourself and Councilman Duncan. We discussed the rates, and then there's a recommendation that gets brought forward to the city council.
It's a popular one to be on.
Do you still want to do it?
Is that on it?
If not, then I'll throw my hat in if you don't want to do it. But, I mean, because we don't have a bunch of people jumping at it here, so.
You haven't done it yet. I don't want to rob you the opportunity, sir.
I think you and I are tied for first place on this list, I think, so. So it's up to you.
This one typically meets maybe once a year, I think maybe April.
You do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do want you to do it.
All right. So I'm going to do it. You want to second that?
I'll second it.
All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
And then the last ad hoc committee I have is the Yucaipa Valley Chamber of Commerce Ad hoc Committee.
Councilwoman Woolsey?
Okay.
All right.
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We have a second person?
Is this one, how often did
I think
we,
Mr. Miller, do you want to be on that one?
Sure, I'll help out with that.
I'll
Seconded.
second. Okay, good, Justin.
sorry, seconded.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, and then the last item that we have on here is going to be our standing committees. We only have one standing committee of the city, which is the Finance Committee. Before you make or before you discuss, I'd like to just point out that this committee now meets on a monthly basis. Just important for the council to take that into consideration as you're deciding who should sit on it.
Councilwoman Woolsey?
I'm definitely interested in this, council. I have the time.
I think both of our new freshman council persons would be phenomenal on this finance standing
second that.
monthly meeting.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, that concludes my presentation for item number 2. Thank you to the City Council. This was a very easy process tonight. Before you adjourn, Mayor, the City Attorney does have a closed session report.
Thank you. Mayor, I do need to make out the report out of closed session. No reportable action on item A. By a vote of 4-1, the City Council gave settlement direction on item B. By a vote of 5-0, the City Council gave settlement direction on item C. Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, sir.
Good.
If I may, apologize for being absent last meeting. The regular meeting, I was sick. I tried to shake it. It didn't happen in time. I didn't want to get anybody else sick. I'm still trying to get rid of it. With that being said, I did make it to the Omnitrans meeting that I'm a board member on. Tragic report out of Fontana this week where a bus patron was stabbed to death. With Omnitrans bringing people into and out of our city, I've made it a point to ask our city staff to provide me with all manner of crime-related documentation that it happens at our transit center or originates from our transit center, so that we, as a board on the Omnitrans board, can discuss public safety, can emphasize public safety to the Omnitrans board, and trying to find additional resources to combat whatever crime and criminality is coming out of that transit center. I'll report back anything I hear from the Omnitrans board. I will say that it appears everybody on that board is professional, and they want to see what's best for public transportation for those who need it. There are those who I think who represent other cities who are a little bit too giving with the idea that you can traverse the county free of, having to pay for it and identify yourself, and it's basically can turn into a way that criminals can just come to our city with a whole lot of anonymity, and it's concerning. So I wanted to make sure I brought that up as a point. As your representative on the Omnitrans board, it is something that is being discussed every month. I make it a point to go to those meetings in San Bernardino, and I will be the one that talks about the uncomfortable conversations of public safety or the lack thereof relative to public transit in our county, until we can get a better handle on people moving freely about the county and committing crimes on taxpayer dollars. So I wanted to make sure I reported back on that.
Any other council members have any announcements? No? With that, I want to thank everybody, all the ladies and gentlemen that applied for all the different committees and commissions. We had the biggest record, I think, of applicants this year. So thank you for showing an interest in your community. I appreciate it. With that, we'll stand adjourned, and it is 6:57.